We're gonna have a brief change of scenery just for this one video because I'm curious to see how it looks and if having my room in the background makes things better or worse. So if you don't like it, it's probably not gonna happen in the next video. Don't worry about it. Hey there everybody, it's Lilith. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I know, things are a bit different, but as I said in the intro, this is probably not going to happen again. Mostly it's just because I don't feel like getting all of the stuff off the back of my door and then squeezing into that little square of space over there. So we're going to see how it's like being over here and seeing what it's like to have you be able to see some of my stuff in the background, my nerdy stuff, my Harry Potter pop dolls and my 900 candles that I don't need. Just, you know, girly things. Today is a video all about shifting stuff, again, because I'm hyperfixating, leave me alone. Today's video is all about scripts. This is going to be pretty much a catch-all video for what a script is, how to use it, some stuff that's in one of my personal scripts, and stuff I would suggest putting into your script that you may not even think about. So without any more of my rambling, let's go. Alright, first and foremost, what is a script when it comes to shifting? Think of it like a script in a movie. In a script in a movie, it's the basic outline of what happens in the film. Your script, when you shift, is stuff to do with what happens or what's going on when you're shifting. Now, unlike a script in a movie, it doesn't detail by detail talk about every single thing that happens specifically because you're actually living and experiencing the stuff that's happening in your DR. This is pretty much the details that you want to go into your DR with you and about the place that you're going. You don't necessarily have to have a script when you shift, especially if you have a really, really good memory and you know exactly what's going on. But honestly, I would suggest one. It's really good for keeping all of your thoughts in one place together. It's also good to be able to review your script and read over all of your details before you attempt to shift. Not only so you can be reminded of everything that's going on, but also it helps to get you in the mood and it's a nice refresher in case there's a small detail you forgot. Now, I got the original inspiration for my script from the TikTok account Shifting Answers. I don't think she's active anymore, but originally the template for what her script was is what inspired my script. Now, my script has other stuff that has nothing to do with her script. It was just kind of the original idea of when I first saw someone's script. Your script doesn't have to physically be written down by hand on paper. You can also type it out and print it out onto paper. Or if you want to keep your script on your computer or your tablet or your phone in a notes section, you can do that too. I've seen people that have entire notebooks dedicated to their DR. It's all about you. You can make it as vague or as detailed as you want. But quite honestly, having as detailed of a script as possible, the better. Nothing left out, as specific as possible so that you get to exactly where you're trying to go and everything goes the way that you feel comfortable with it going. Now we're going to go over bits from my script as a basis of sections. My script is to get me to Hogwarts because I'm a Harry Potter fangirl, so all of my scripts are Hogwarts specific. And I say all of because I have two scripts. I have one that I tried to write out when I was having a very specific train of thought as to what else I could do in my DR, but as of right now, this is the one that I'm working with. It's the one that I started with. And I like to split my scripts up into sections. Now, the first section is just all about me specifically. I have a section that talks about a full name, a nickname, my age, my birthday, stuff like that. Details that you feel are important in your script to who you are as a person. Mine specifically, by way of detail, says full name, nickname, age, birthday, position at Hogwarts because I script myself in as a teacher. I don't know if I'll ever script myself in as a student. I mean, maybe I might want to just to get the experience, but all of my favorite characters in the series are adults and I want to befriend all the adults and be a teacher and stuff like that. So if you are going into Hogwarts like I am, but you want to go in as a student, don't worry about that part. Just worry about your Hogwarts house. And also if you're going into a place that's not Hogwarts, that's kind of just a specific detail of if you're going into My Hero Academia, that could be what your quirk is, you know, that kind of thing. If you're going into something specific that has things like that, put specifics in there so you know where you're at. I have my blood status because I am going into Harry Potter and every witch or wizard has a different blood status. My former Hogwarts house because I'm an adult. Affiliates, I've written myself in as previously being a member of the Order of the Phoenix. Affiliates is pretty much just any association that you may have ties to. That would be mine. If you were scripting yourself in as like a villain, you could script yourself as affiliates with like Death Eaters kind of thing. But, you know, you don't have to. My zodiac sign, my dominant hand, languages I speak, where I grew up, where I currently live, my gender, my sexuality, my religion, my former school, and my accent. Now, you can go as far as to add on to this if you want to add, like, who your biological parents are, if you want to add any siblings or other family members. This is just by way of, like, the personality part of who you are. Like I said, you don't have to just add what I have in mine. You can also put what you want for your own. This is just my suggestion of what I have. Now, then there's an entire appearance section on mine. Mine includes my race, my hair, both color, texture, and length kind of thing, my eye color, my height, and any existing tattoos and piercings I may have. It's just a brief list out kind of thing. There's another more specific part about my physical appearance later on when talking about myself in my script. This is just like the basis list part. I have OCD. I like making lists. My script is 12 pages long. All right, then we go into a section I have listed as details. Again, you can set yours up completely different to mine. This is just what mine looks like. I have mine listed with my former Hogwarts house, the make and model of my wand, my Patronus, a pet that I own, and the class that I teach. Now, again, if you're listing yourself in as a student at Hogwarts, you can list yourself in with your current Hogwarts house, make and model of your wand, your Patronus, if you bring a pet to school, and you don't have to have like a class thing. That's just the class that I teach. Also, if you plan on scripting yourself in as head girl or head boy, make sure you put that in here as well. Also, make sure you're writing down if you're a prefect or not. Also, if you plan on writing yourself in as a student and you plan on playing Quidditch, you're going to need to put in here the position that you play in Quidditch and the type of broom that you ride. Then, even though that was the appearance section, this is the looks section. Now, this is just a giant paragraph about what I look like. It's the specifics of not just the fact that I have hair of a certain length and a certain color. It's describing my hair. It's describing my facial features. It's describing my physical body build. It's describing if I have freckles or scars. All that good stuff. I even have in here, because I no longer have acrylic nails in real life, I even wrote in here that I have the specific kind of acrylic nails that I would want in my DR, and I made sure to list that it is kept up by magic, because I'm not going to a muggle nail salon when I have stuff to do. All right, next bit. Listed out my personality. This is essentially just the traits that I have as a person. I pretty much scripted myself to be exactly how I am here, my interests as well as my actual personality traits. You are going to want to pretty much just do the same thing when you do your personality bit. Just write out about your kindness, your interests, how you are with friends, loved ones, stuff like that. Just bits of your personality and you'll be good to go. This is the love life section. There are certain people who will tell you that scripting a love life with existing characters is unethical. I'm not one of those people. If you don't want to do that because it makes you uncomfortable, cool, fine and dandy, you don't have to do it. But this is the beginning of my love interest section. And then it continues through all of page 5 and a little bit of page 6. This would be where I would be dating my comfort characters, one by fucking one. All right, next, the friendships section. This is just kind of like a detailed paragraph about the people that I'm friends with. Yours can be maybe whoever's in your house or whoever you hang out with the most. Specify who your best friend is over just your average friends. In this, because I am a teacher, all of my friends are either pre-existing from when I didn't work at Hogwarts, or they are people who work at Hogwarts. Because I am coming in during Prisoner of Azkaban for this, my friends all consist of professors of the existing time, and I don't even care that I matched myself up to be best friends with McGonagall because she's a badass and I don't want to hear otherwise. The friendship section continues down through here, and then we get to a section that I have labeled as smaller details. No details necessarily too small, but these are just kind of like passing things that don't have like a designated section. Now, I put time, 1 minute in my CR is 1 day in my DR. Your travel to your DR is not limited by your CR time stream. I would not suggest putting in anything too big. I wouldn't suggest putting in like 1 second in my CR is 1 day in my DR. I would not suggest putting in 1 minute in my CR is 1 week in my DR kind of, yeah, I got that right, kind of thing. I would start off small. I would go 1 minute to 1 day. Some people are more comfortable saying that like 1 minute is to 1 hour, or maybe 1 hour is to 1 day. Just the more slack you give your brain, the less likely you are to get tired and the easier it will be to shift. Now, I also put stay. I will only stay at Hogwarts for 1 year. You don't have to put this. I put this because I'm going to want to rewrite a new script depending on what happens in this 1 year span. And I don't want to stay past the end of Harry's 3rd year without having done that. So basically, if I hit that year mark and I'm still in my DR, it's automatically going to kick me out. And it's going to eject me back here. At least that's what I've scripted. That way that I can come back here, write a new script, and then continue on with the life I've been living there with a new script, because this is specified to 1993. All right, date. This is to make sure that I pop in the right place, because you don't want to just say that you've popped up at Hogwarts during the 90s, because you could pop up in the middle of the Hogwarts battle. You don't want to do that. So you're going to want to specify a year. If you want to be as specific enough to make sure you show up on a certain day of that year, that's fine. I've specifically scripted that I show up during the first day of the 1993 to 1994 school year. That way I'm there for all of the events of Prisoner of Azkaban. All right, and then arrive is the same thing. Date is just I've put I will be at Hogwarts in a year of school that spans from 1993 to 1994. And arrive is I will arrive in my DR on the first day of school in 1993 before students begin to arrive for sorting. I'm trying to give myself room to find out where I am. And I want to explore before I got to start working. All right, this next bit takes up most of this page. This is CR and DR details. Now, this is stuff to do with, like, I mentioned briefly that, like, my clone will be asleep in my CR while I'm in my DR. I am one of these people that even though there's multiple versions of how people view clones, I prefer to keep my clone asleep. It makes me more comfortable. I'm only going to be gone while I'm physically sleeping here. I also make sure to script under CR and DR details that if somebody tries to wake me up in my CR, or if an alarm goes off in my CR, I'll hear it in my DR, so I know to kind of get away from whatever I'm doing and do my safe word or my safe action and get out and get up. Which comes in handy with the fact that I have it scripted somewhere in here that whenever I leave my DR, I will come right back, when I come back again, to where I left off. So it's not like I'm going to be missing for however long I'm not shifting. Which is something I would suggest for you if you don't want to miss stuff. I've specifically scripted that if I do my safe word or my safe action while in my DR, I will return to my CR. This is an important thing to write down, especially for your brain. When returning to my CR, I am free of trauma and depression. There's a lot of things in here that are specified to this kind of thing, because we don't want to be coming back here and be really, really upset. We want to hold on to the good things and be happy about the fact that we went. When I am in my DR, I am free from homesickness and attachments. Same thing, vice versa. You don't want to be there and be sad that your best friend here is not there with you. You will see them when you come back. And then I just have minor details, like I'm good at not swearing in front of my students. I remember to not use modern slang in my DR. And I'm one of these people that something you may not think about, if you like having freshly shaved legs, then make sure to script that you always have freshly shaved legs. And I also said that I always smell good. I have also had people that I've seen who scripted that they always have clean piercings. They also always have clean hair and fresh breath. It's specific to you. Something else I do want to drop in here real quick before I continue on with this is I don't know how legitimate this is, but I do it just in case. You will get people who say this is BS, but I have seen a lot of people say that you should not put negative words in your script because it messes with the universe and the tone of your script. So don't put in things like don't, or no, or none, or not, or won't. Like negative words, like instead of saying I will never have bad breath, put I always have good breath. Like make it a positive thing. If you're writing out I cannot die, try to change the wording and say I am safe from death. If you can get pregnant and you don't want to get pregnant in your DR, instead of writing out I will not get pregnant, put down I am safe from pregnancy. Instead of writing down I will not get hurt, put I will be safe from harm. I have seen people who have said that that can be completely disputed and that that's not real and it doesn't affect anything. And I've also seen a lot of people who really, really heavily believe in that. I don't know how true it is. I can't say one way or the other if it is or isn't. But just in case to cover my own butt, I have not put any negative words in here. So I have put stuff like, I am safe from death, I am free from pregnancy, you know, I am free from getting a period, stuff like that. Like I said, I don't know if it's real, but worst comes to worst, it's not going to make things worse if I'm careful about it. All right, this is a very small section because it doesn't need to be very big. Getting back to my CR, basically just writing down what my safe word is and my safe action. Now, essentially what safe actions and safe words are, because I haven't really gone over it that much, your safe word is if you're in your DR and you either decide that you need to get out because emotionally you just can't handle what's going on, you get bored, you miss home, or it's time for you to get up because you have to go do stuff, your safe word is what you will say out loud to be able to peace out. Your safe action is in case you forget your word or you physically can't do your word. Now, I like having both. Mine are things that I would never say or do in real life. You also want to make sure when doing your safe word or your safe action, you are not in front of people. They will see you randomly say this word that's like a weird word you would never say, or do this really strange action that you would never do, and you will have to explain it later. Find a way to get alone and then do it, because they may see you vanish or see you do this weird thing. Now, when I have something that's like an important detail that I want to put in, but there's no section for it, I put a little star instead of like a dash for it. Mine is just kind of reiterating that if I ever do my safe word or my safe action, that I will return to my CR, and that if I open my eyes in my DR, I will be in my bed at Hogwarts on the first day of school in the 1993 school year before children show up for sorting. So that's just kind of like little tidbits there. If you want to put yours in for other small details that don't really fit into a designated section that has to do with your DR, go right ahead. Now, this section's not for everybody. This is only if you're like me and you want to take some stuff with you. This is a what I will bring with me section. This includes like the dress that I'm wearing, all the jewelry that I'm currently wearing, the hat that I'm wearing, my favorite sweater, one of my other favorite dresses, my favorite book of poetry by Edgar Allan Poe, stuff that I would want to take with me and have me, my most oftenly used makeup, that kind of stuff. Anything you want to take with you there, you should go ahead and write down a little list. All right, this is a detail that, again, not everybody needs. I have it because I'm scripting myself in as a teacher. How long I have been a teacher at Hogwarts. I'm scripting that I've been a teacher for a little over 10 years. I am in my 30s. I started teaching in my mid-20s. This, if you are scripting yourself in as a student, maybe you could say how long you've been a student. That way that you know how long you've been there, I guess, because you could say, oh, I'm a 7th year. But also, have you been there since year 1, or are you a transfer student from another school? That's why it's going to be important that if you are scripting yourself in as a student, you need to make sure to specify if you have been at that school the whole time, or if you were at a previous school. And if you did transfer, then when. All right, this is a list of little things. Takes up a whole page, goes through 3/4 of another page. A lot of these are very Hogwarts specific because it does have to do with my DR, but essentially it's knowing my way around places and things that I would need to know if I lived and worked in this location. It's like saying if you suddenly one day were in my house, you could only really properly function in this house if you knew where everything was, right? You would have to know how to get to the bathroom. You would have to know the names of the people that live here. You'd have to know how to find your way around outside of this house on the property. Stuff like that. So I have stuff in my list that say stuff about how I know how to find my way around Hogwarts easily. I know where everything in my personal chambers is kept. I know where everything in my classroom is kept. I know my class schedule by heart. I will remember the names of all of my students without problem because I'm forgetful and I want to help myself. I will know the curriculum and lesson plan for my class. This is important if you are giving yourself a job in your place that you're going. If in your DR you have a job, you're going to want a script that you know how to do that job. I will remember the password into my chambers. This is also important, again, if you are coming in as a Hogwarts student, you need to always be able to remember the password into your common room. This is a small one for me. I can walk easily in high heels. I plan on wearing high heels in my DR. I know how to ride a broom. Again, important, even if you're not on the Quidditch team. If you're taking flying lessons, you need to know that, or Madam Hooch will get you. I will remember my way around the Hogwarts grounds outside of the castle. That way that I know how I'm getting to Black Lake. I can stay away from the forest. I know where I'm at, this, that, and the other, and I can get to Hagrid's house. This is a small thing that you don't necessarily have to have, but I think it's important. I will have a watch on me at all times that tells me the time in both my CR and my DR. The idea of this will help keep track of things for me. If it's something that makes you comfortable, go right ahead with it. When I am in my DR, I will have the knowledge of popular movies, TV shows, books, and music of the times. Again, not necessary, but I feel like it would make me feel a little bit more comfy about making conversation with people. To a certain degree, I do know because I know shows and movies and music and stuff from like the 80s and 90s, but I want to be careful just in case. I'm good at spells and potions. Being a teacher, this is incredibly important. As a student, this will help you pass grades. Whenever I go back to my DR, I will pick up where I left off. To me, that's really important because I don't want to miss chunks of time. If I take a week-long break from shifting, I don't want to miss a week of stuff there, especially since it could be more than a week of stuff there if I'm scripting that 1 minute here is a day there. I don't want to miss out on weeks and weeks of time. Little things like I have small sneezes because I sneeze really loud and I'm trying to get rid of that. I always have good breath. I have a sustainable amount of money. I know how to find my way around Hogsmeade. I know how to find my way around Diagon Alley. Both of these are places I plan on going. If there's other places outside of Hogwarts, if you're going to Hogwarts that you want to know how to get around, figure that out. If you're going somewhere that isn't Hogwarts, you need to make sure you know your way around any place you may have to go that you would have logically been before you actually got there. I made sure to put that I'm an experienced witch because I don't want to show up and accidentally be a squib. If you're going somewhere magical, make sure you do that. If you're going somewhere that you have a superpower or a secret talent, you need to make sure that you actually script that talent in. Stuff like I know the wizarding money system because I don't want to forget that. It's complicated. I barely know the American money system. And I understand the Hogwarts house point system. I don't know how important that is to everybody else, but to me that's important because I'm going to have to give and take points away because I'm a teacher. A couple other odd and end things that are just kind of like specific to me. I don't want to bore you by listing literally everything. And then we get to the big things section. Now, these are some really important factors for me. I put in here that I am free from pregnancy, because if I hook up with anybody who could get me pregnant, I'm not about that life. I have a deep phobia of pregnancy. We're not going there. I am safe from death. You're going to want to do that. When it comes to pain, I started off this script originally with having it say that I am free of pain, but honestly, that'll make it feel less real, and you want to feel really like you belong in this situation, so I put that I have a high pain tolerance. I'm free of mental illness. I'm not all right up here right now. I'd like to be all right there. I'm safe from physical injuries and illnesses and ailments. There you go. It speaks for itself. I will always remember my DR when coming back to my CR. I will be free from attachments as well as homesickness. I like to write this multiple times in my script. I know it was in there at least 1 or 2 times in the previous pages, but it's completely fine. You can repeat anything that you want, honey. When I go to my DR, I will feel rested, and when I wake up in my CR, I will still feel rested. This is important because I don't want to wake up in my DR and then feel like I got no sleep. I want to be able to wake up and deal with what's going on here and now. I'm safe from trauma. This could be considered emotional or physical. It could also be considered in your CR or your DR. I just think it's important to put in there. No one will figure out that I am from another world. This is incredibly important because you don't want to get outed. You don't want to have that conversation with people that you care about there. So do me a favor, script that. You'll be safe. Do that for me. I am free from having a period. If you are the kind of human being that has a period, cover yourself. This is again an optional thing. Everyone in my DR looks exactly how they did in the Harry Potter films. This to me is important because it helps me distinguish who's actually who, because if I just go by book descriptions, I might not know who they are right away, which would mess me up considering I'm going in having pre-existing knowledge of these people because I'm supposed to have been working here for 10 years. So that I can better distinguish these people, that helps. Also, if you're shifting yourself in with a specific love interest and you're attracted to a certain person in the movies, that helps. It sometimes can just make it easier so you don't get confused. But if you want to leave it up to random, that's fine. If you want to go by book description, that's fine. When I am close to fully shifting, I will smell vanilla and feel 2 taps on my right arm. This is to let me know that I'm getting close, it's working, my methods are working, and to keep at it and not give up. That used to be my thing for like when I have successfully shifted, that will happen, but I was on a TikTok live today. If you don't follow me on TikTok, please go follow me there. Someone that I follow who also is a shifter told me that it would be better if I shifted that my eyes automatically open. That way I don't open my eyes too early or too late. So I have just scripted it that instead of that being what happens when I'm actually there, that's what happens when I'm almost there, so I know to keep going. And that when I have successfully shifted to my DR, my eyes will automatically open. And that is my script. She is 12 pages long. She thick. I hope this video helped to give you some understanding of what scripting is and what it means when it comes to shifting, some ideas of what you can put in your script or how you can set it up, or gave you inspiration somehow. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I am not done with shifting videos by far. I still have a lot more ideas in store for you guys. So if you want to keep up with my shifting content, or even the other kinds of content I post on this channel when I'm not hyperfixating on reality shifting, and you are not already subscribed to this channel, please click the big red subscribe button below. Join the family, it would mean a lot to me. Last I looked at my number count on this channel as of when I'm filming this, I have like 326, which I appreciate so much, and I love you guys so much, thank you. If you would like to be notified every time I post a new video on this channel, please click the little notification bell beside the subscribe button to be noted of every time that I upload again. Please check out the links in the description below to find my 2 previous videos on shifting to do with the basics of shifting and shifting clones. I'm actually going to start putting them into a little shifting playlist, so I'm just going to link the playlist below if you want to start from the beginning on those. And also check out the links in the description if you want to follow me on my other social media, including my TikTok, my Instagram, and my Twitter. I would appreciate it so much if you guys would follow me there as well. My TikTok is where you can find my other shifting stuff, as well as my cosplays and my out-of-character like Harry Potter related skits. And on Instagram and Twitter, you will find updates on upcoming video ideas. I think that's about all I have to say for now. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Share it with somebody that you think might like it. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you have any comments on what I've put up today or any questions or suggestions for other videos, please leave them in the comments below. I love you guys so much, and I hope that you had a great time today, and I will see you next video. Bye.